Hello, friends. Today I want to tell you a story that may change how you see your problems. It is about a young boy who thought his problems were too big for him. But he didn't know one simple truth. Most problems are not really big, and their solution is often very close to us. By the end of this story, you will understand it too. So relax, take a deep breath, and listen carefully. Once there was a small village surrounded by green fields. A boy named Urav lived there. Urav was smart, but he worried about everything. Even small difficulties looked huge to him. If the weather was hot, he said, "How can anyone work in this heat?" If the teacher gave homework, he said, "This is impossible." If his mother asked for help, he said, "Why is everything so hard for me?" Day after day, he kept complaining. Slowly, people stopped enjoying his company. Nobody likes being around someone who only sees problems. One evening, his father became tired of hearing him complain. He called Urav and said, "Come with me. I want to show you something." They walked until they reached a quiet pond. His father gave him a handful of salt and said, "Throw it into the water." Urav did it. "Now taste the water," his father said. Urav tasted it and quickly spat it out. "It's very bitter." His father nodded. Then they walked to a large river nearby. His father again gave him salt and said, "Throw it here." Urav obeyed. "Now drink the water." Urav drank it and looked surprised. "It tastes normal. I can't taste the salt." His father smiled and said, "Son, life's problems are like this salt. The amount of problems does not change, but how much they hurt you depends on the size of your heart. If your heart is small like the pond, every problem will make life bitter. If your heart becomes big like the river, the bitterness disappears." These words stayed in Urav's mind. That night he thought, "If I stay like the pond, I will always suffer. But if I become like the river, I can. I can handle anything." From the next day, he decided to change. When he got homework, he said, "This will make me better." When his mother asked for help, he thought, "This will make me stronger." When the sun was hot, he told himself, "This is just a test." It wasn't easy at first. He still felt like complaining. But every time he remembered his father's words, he kept trying. Weeks passed, then months. Slowly, Urav changed. He became calmer. Friends liked being with him. His teacher praised him. His parents felt proud. Most importantly, he felt peaceful inside. Problems still came, exams, work, difficult days. But now he didn't sink in them. He carried them easily, like a river carries stones. One evening he sat beside the river and watched the flowing water. He smiled and said, "Life's problems don't need to disappear. I just need to grow bigger than them." So remember this. Life will always bring challenges. Some days will be hard. But the answer is not complaining. The answer is growth. Problems don't become smaller. We become stronger. Whenever you feel stuck, ask yourself, am I the pond or the river? Many of us think our life is harder than others. We feel our problems are too heavy, too unfair, and impossible to solve. But the truth is, most problems are not really big. Our thinking makes them big. This is the story of a boy who learned that truth. So take a deep breath, relax your mind, and listen carefully. In a peaceful village surrounded by green fields and trees lived a boy named Urav. Urav was intelligent and kind, but he had one habit that slowly made his life difficult. He worried about everything. Small problems looked huge to him. If the day was hot, he complained, "This weather is unbearable. I can't do anything." If his teacher gave homework, he said, "This is impossible. Why do teachers torture students?" If his mother asked him to help carry water, he muttered, "Why is life always hard for me?" Even when friends invited him to play, he would say, "I'm tired. I have too many problems." At first, people tried to comfort him. But day after day, month after month, Urav kept complaining. Slowly, his friends stopped calling him. Neighbors avoided talking to him. Even his parents felt helpless. Because a person who only sees problems spreads heaviness everywhere. One evening, his father listened to his long sigh again. Instead of scolding him, he quietly said, "Come with me." They walked silently through fields, past trees, until they reached a small, still pond. The water looked calm like a mirror. His father gave him a handful of salt. "Put this into the water." Urav threw it in. "Now taste the water." Urav bent down, drank a little, and immediately spat it out. "Ugh, it's bitter." His father nodded but said nothing. Then they continued walking until they reached a wide, flowing river. The water moved endlessly, shining under the evening sun. Again his father gave him salt. "Put it here." Urav did. "Now drink." Irv drank the river water and looked confused. It tastes normal. I can't taste the salt. His father smiled gently and sat beside him. Son, listen carefully. Life always gives problems. Their amount does not change, but their effect depends on your mind. If your mind is small like the pond, every problem makes life bitter. If your mind becomes wide like the river, problems dissolve inside you. Irv stayed silent. For the first time, he didn't argue. He didn't complain. He understood. Maybe the world was not hurting him. Maybe his thinking was. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept remembering the pond and the river. He whispered to himself, I don't want to live bitter anymore. The next morning, his change began. When his teacher gave extra homework, he felt irritation rising, but he stopped himself. This is practice. I'll become smarter. When his mother asked him to bring water, he felt laziness, but he told himself, this will make me stronger. When the sun burned his skin while working, he thought, this is just a moment. It will pass. At first it was difficult. His old habits kept pulling him back. Complaining was comfortable. Change was hard. But every time he remembered the river, he tried again. Weeks passed, then months. Something beautiful started happening. He smiled more. He spoke calmly. He reacted slowly instead of angrily. His friends returned because they felt peace around him. His teacher noticed improvement. His parents saw maturity in his eyes. But the biggest change was inside. Problems still existed. Exams, mistakes, tired days, failures. Yet now they didn't crush him. They passed through him, like leaves floating in a river. One evening he sat alone near the same river. The sunset painted the water golden. The river kept flowing without stopping for stones, branches, or dirt. Irv smiled softly and said, the goal of life is not removing problems. The goal is becoming bigger than them. So my friends, life will never become completely easy. There will always be pressure, fear, and challenge. There will always be pressure, fear, and challenges. But peace does not come when problems disappear. Peace comes when your mind grows. Problems don't shrink. We grow beyond them. Whenever life feels heavy, ask yourself, are you the small pond holding bitterness, or the vast river letting everything pass? Because the moment you become the river, life becomes lighter.